Okay, y'all. All right. All right, we back again. I'm on my laptop. I'm just in another room, so let me know if you hear too much noise. I got air AC going, so I don't think it's blasting too much. I mean, I know y'all can hear me. I can see my level, but I'm not in my office today. Marcus Bell, what's going on? I just wanted to get up and change the atmosphere. Felt like sitting in another room, so I picked up everything and just went into the other room. I didn't feel like sitting in my other chair, so okay. So yeah, we're gonna get started here in a minute. Mark Robinson, what's going on? He said much to talk about. Yeah, man. And Two Beats, what's up, man? A few different things to talk about. So let's get started here at about the we get started at the 3 minute mark. Okay. Yeah, I was talking about that with BJ, man. Marina Moreau, man. Yeah, I saw Sarge, man. Sarge got her fight book now. She's stepping in for Luana Carolina. So against Luana Carolina. So that's what's up, man. At least she got a fight. Okay. But all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get going, man. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back again. Um, yeah, a few things to talk about. Yeah, a few things I want to talk about today, man. And we still on this flyweight division, and it just seems like we got a lot of fighters coming into the division, but at the same time, we don't really have anybody on the radar that seems to really look like a threat to the champion. You know, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, man. That's why I said, who can stop a bullet, man? Who's gonna stop a bullet? Like who in this division on the come up looks like a threat? And what do they got to do to look like a threat for any of these up and coming fighters? I mean, I think it's safe to say that plenty of the plenty of the other plenty of the other flyweights in the division, on the come up. We can talk about them, but everybody else from like number one down, excluding Taylor Santos, everybody kind of looks like they're pretty much done, right? Anybody that already faced Valentina is done. They don't really stand a chance anymore. I think it's safe to say. But the question is like, who is gonna be the one to stop a bullet, right? And what else we want to talk about? Oh yeah, Sarge. Sarge and Luana Carolina got a fight coming up. Sarge is stepping in for Marina Moreau, and that's a sign right there. Like, with Marina Moreau, like that's a sign of a fighter that you can see doesn't really have the drive to do whatever she needs to do to climb to the top. I mean, Marina Moreau, her mind is somewhere else right now. It just seems more like she's just into saying she's a UFC fighter, but not really up to the task of fighting. I mean, why do they always put her on schedule only to be canceled the next week or so, right? That kind of gets annoying to the fans. If fans of Marina Moreau want to see her fight, like, hey, like, commit to it. That's what I'm saying. If there's something else going on with her, I mean, you might as well just step out of the game for a while. just step away. Stop wasting people's time trying to take on a fight. But if something's not right, don't waste people's time. Yeah, because Marina Moroz gonna mess around and get cut, without even having to fight. It's just so many times she's canceled. So she's one of those fighters that just is not showing that sign to me that she really wants it. So you got Sarge stepping in. She's showing some determination. She's stepping in to fight Luana Carolina. And who else do we have? Shoot, I'm going to talk about this week coming up, 2 fight week. Antonina Shevchenko's coming back against Casey O'Neill this weekend, right? So that's a fight to talk about, man. Of course, I always say Antonina's her own fighter. So we'll see what's up, man. We want to see what's up with her this weekend. Colton said Michael Chase had said on the UFC recap that he wants to see Manon get pushed to challenge Valentina next. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't want to see her get pushed too premature. Like I just want to see her climb the ladder first, because that's something else I want to talk about. Like, these fighters, they just can't be pushed into a fight with her. Kind of how Macy Barber was trying to do. And you saw what happened. Like, I want to see these fighters dominate some common names first. You dominate a few common names, and then after that, hey, then we can talk title shot. Robert Henry said no show Monroe. Yeah, man. Like, she's just on something else, man. Like, you're wasting people's time right now, man. Moreau. Yeah, Moreau. But yeah, I agree with Michael Chase. I definitely want to see that fight, but not right now. Like, I don't want to see her get pushed up, like skipping up above the rest. I just want to see her make her move the right way. But yeah, let's talk this main topic here. All right, so when I say who can stop a bullet, after seeing this weekend and see Lauren Murphy just get dismantled and just put in a place where we never seen her and just get stopped in 4 rounds. That just shows you that Valentina is like on another level. She's just showing another level once again, because like Valentina didn't even really, Lauren Murphy didn't even really like engage to a point where she was getting picked apart from trying to storm Valentina. She got picked apart from the from the from the mental aspect. Like, Valentina Shevchenko was just picking her apart with her mind, first off, mentally. She took her apart mentally, man, because like I said, Lauren Murphy didn't even like take the chance to like step in like a brawler or like a grappler. Somebody that just got picked away or picked apart with a jab and then eventually get stopped. Like, no, she was just on the outside completely for the whole fight. And after eating like 1 or 2 shots in the first round, it was almost like she didn't want any part of that. So Valentina's whole demeanor and body language just put her in a different state, like where it was like, I don't know what to do, or should I even take a chance? Like, should I even take this chance and get hit again and face that power, face that pain? So, and we've seen Lauren Murphy hit many times before. Like, Lauren Murphy likes to lead in there with her face most of the time, but this time it was like a different story. It was like, nah, we can't do that. I don't like the way this feels. So she mostly, for the most part, was really mentally broken from the first round. So with that, it's like, who is going to be the fighter to really step up now? Like, who is the fighter or fighters that's really going to go in this go on this journey to the top 10, top 5, top 3 title eliminator? Like, Who's going to be those fighters that have the mind frame to go in there and fight and try to win? It just seems like everybody's had the approach to go in there and just survive. Like I said, Jennifer Maya was probably like the most. Jennifer Maya and I would say Joanna partly, when they fought for the title, tried. But as far as like the title defenses, I would say like Jennifer Maya was like the only one that tried for, a period of time in the fight. But everybody else just seemed like, they felt one hit of the bullet and that was it. So let's see. Like, I mean, we could pull up the list now and say who's going to be that fighter. But I mean, we obviously know there's nobody in the top 10 right now. I mean, Taylor maybe can be the one to give a good fight, but she still has to prove it in her next couple fights. Mark Robinson said, if I was a female flyweight in the division, I would be a little mad at Lauren. She made the rest of the division look bad. She didn't do anything. I was disappointed. Yeah, I think that if she I think it was I don't know, man. Like I can't really say like she made the division look bad. I think she just made herself look bad. But I know what you mean. Like it definitely puts her in a it definitely puts her in the rest of the flyweights in another lane where it's like, oh man, like oh okay, like none of us stand a chance. You know what I mean? Like none of us stand a chance. So I know what you mean. Yeah, like I would be a little mad too because yeah, you went on a 5-fight winning streak, and this was supposed to be the fight where you put it all on the line. You put it all on the line, go out in a blaze. Like if she would have went out the way Jessica I did, that would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like trying to come forward and do something. But I mean, she was grinded out on the ground by Valentina. She was outstruck, of course, from the outside. She was counterpunched, everything. Like I didn't see her try to do anything in there worth mentioning. So when you look at that being done to a fighter like Lauren Murphy, like I said, it's no surprise. Even Calvillo called that one. Basically saying that there's nothing extraordinary or extraordinary about Lauren Murphy. There's not. There wasn't. I thought her heart would keep her in the fight, but that wasn't gonna happen. So who? I guess it's not really a question, right? That's just a rhetorical question where we could say, are any of you fighters going to step up to the plate and be that one to try to figure out the bullet along the way? Like, because the more and more she fights, it shows you these different styles. There should be somebody out there in the division that's saying, okay, like, we have to tackle this. Like, we have to tackle the type of fighter she is. We have to go in there and find some type of weakness. Like, that's the trainer's job. That's why I don't understand why Lauren Murphy didn't want to hear like she didn't really want to hear the real talk from her corner, just positive. And she said, just keep it simple. And fighting Valentina is not simple. You know what I mean? Fighting Valentina is not a simple fight where you can just say, okay, this is all we're gonna tell you. Just survive somehow. That shouldn't be the approach of a trainer if you want to win. But if you're just trying to get through the night, then okay, fine. I think that's what she was just trying to do. So trainers, even these trainers now, like whether it be, a Miranda Maverick trainer or a Viviana Araujo trainer, if they want to get there, the trainers have to really be studying Valentina. And in order to get them what they need, their trainers need to be telling them, okay, we've been studying Valentina. Okay, this is what you need to work on. Like you need to get really well. You need to start doing really well at this. You need to start doing more of this. You need to become a well-rounded fighter, basically. You just cannot depend on the same old thing. Like Your cardio has to be better. Your defense has to be better. Your patience has to be better. Your focus. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that these fighters are doing, and I don't know. The question is it too late for some of them? I think so. I think it's too late for a few, but not all of them. I think some of the fighters on the lower rankings, they have a better chance than the fighters that are already polished. The ones that have already um, been in the game for a while because they're set in their ways. These fighters that are set in their ways, like they're not going to step out of the box. The younger fighters, they have a good chance to evolve and kind of break the comfort zone. So if you think about it, like if anybody had a chance of getting in there and giving the bullet a chance, it's going to be a process, but it's the younger fighters, the lower ranked fighters, because they got to understand they got the best seat in the house right now. They got the best seat in the house because they're not next in line. They can watch what the next person did, the person before them. That's why people like to, whenever people don't like to go first, second, or third to figure out like a puzzle, they let the 2, 3, 4 people go first so they can, take the time to see the mistakes they did. That's what these other fighters need to be doing right now. They need to be out there like, oh, well, Lauren Murphy didn't do this. Well, I could do that, or I know what she needs to perfect to do that. So um, there's a lot of ways to get there. It's just like the approach that some of these fighters are taking now is not going to get them there. Let me check this comment section here real quick, y'all. Hold on here. Go back up. Um, Let me see. Up here. Okay. 2B said you got a Chris Martino Valentina to have a chance. Oh, Robert Henry said YouTube updated their community requirements. If you have at 500 subs, you should be about to access it. I know folk like you and George Page have at least 500 help. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, yeah, I'm almost at 8 now. I haven't really talked about it, but yeah, I'm almost at 8. Yeah, because I haven't really been like checking. But yeah, I'm looking now. Yeah, I'm at like 8, so I should have it, huh? Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, I don't know why they make you have to wait to 1,000. So, especially when they hide your channel. So, yeah, I'm at like 800, almost 8 now. 8 or 7. Wait, hold on. Where's the daggone thing at? Yeah, I'm just checking now for the tab out. Hold up here. Yeah. Oh, Mark Robinson said, I'll tell you what, but I don't think JoJo can do it. I like JoJo, but a Muay Thai is no match for Valentina. Valentina's brought has probably seen 100 JoJos. Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, y'all. Hit the thumbs up as you come in. Marcus Bell said any minute with Roxanne joining Andrea Lee in the top 15. We're going to mess around and call them the top 15 gatekeepers. Crazy. Okay, let me read. Just reading through here. 2B said leg kicks, Chris toughness and willingness to move forward. Good cage work, good jiu-jitsu, get up skills is what fighters need for Valentina. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be as strong as you have to be strong. After a recent interview, Mark Robinson gathered that Valentina doesn't want to fight JoJo. She knows she's not the one. JoJo calls herself a Muay Thai fighter, but Valentina's not impressed. I mean, yeah, the champion at this point has the right to kind of say who has it and who doesn't, if you know what I mean. Like she has a great point. Like I think she's covered all her bases and she's pretty much already you know, shown that she can defeat different looks. You know, that is what she really needs now. Like if you, that's what a lot of these fighters need to understand. Like Valentina's already on a level where she can kind of, do the thumbs up and thumb down thing. Where you say, okay, this person is it, this person is not. Uh, JoJo in the past has already kind of proven some of her levels. You know what I mean? Like defense wise, choice wise, hunger wise. I mean, I like her as a fighter. I mean, she's action packed. Yeah, like I like their stand up game, all day long. But like when it comes to complete fighters, like no man, JoJo is not on the Valentina Shevchenko level. The Shevchenko level is the level right now that nobody's touching. And let's not even talk about the Andrade level. Let's not even talk about the Andrade level. The Andrade level is a scary level that even if you defeat that level, it doesn't prepare you for the Shevchenko level. The Andrade level is still a level that fighters don't understand how to defeat. Like, I can tell you how to beat that for sure. Everybody can tell you how to beat the Andrade level, but it's a matter of not being intimidated and executing. Calvillo didn't give us what she said she was gonna give. Like she sold the hell out of it. I tell you that right now. She sold the hell out of it to us, but for the moment. But I changed, man. I said, nah, I don't think so. Hmm. I don't know, man. As far as stopping the bullet, like who can, more like what do you have to do? Well, before I answer that question, let me see what y'all are saying here. Okay, Robert Henry said everything you've described is what Valentina can, but a little more. Her endurance mentally and physically is too much for these girls, too much playing catch up. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Valentina's is more Valentina's is more mental. Like I could see a lot of the fighters doing some of the things she does as far as like having a good strong stance and good clinch control and good ground game, of course. We seen a lot of fighters have that, but the the ability to keep it for 5 rounds is not there in a lot of these fighters. Like mentally, a lot of these fighters don't have that mental that she has. Like you can see it in her body language, in her eyes, like in the way she releases her strikes. Like I said the other day, like Valentina has a different approach when it comes to how she trains, not just physically, but mentally. Like a lot of these fighters, they can't keep up with what she's doing minute after minute, second after second, round after round. Like she's on it every single doggone minute. You know what I mean? Every single minute she's on it, on her A game. The stance never changes. The look never changes. Her hands never drop. So that's one of the main focuses that I think a lot of people need to get. Like I think somebody out there could master being well rounded, learning every discipline they need and getting decent at it or somewhat. But the actual part of being as focused and almost crazy with it to the point where you're just like really, really insane with it. I don't think too many of the ladies cross that line. She's crazy in love with the sport. She's crazy in love with martial arts. That's why some of these ladies do. That's why she does it. That's why she outdoes a lot of these ladies. Because you can still see a lot of these other ladies. Their focus goes to other things like IG, uh, just other stuff. not even related to the fight game. Like you'll see their mental just leave the fight sometimes. Um, Not too many of them eat, breathe, and sleep and live it like she does. So I think, yeah, that mental part, as long as she keeps it as strong as it is, I don't see anybody ever stopping the bullet. That's why I say who can stop her? I don't know. Like that's the one thing that's gonna stop a lot of these ladies because I'm looking at names right now, even without looking at names. Without looking at the names, I think we all know that none of them have that in them to fight her mentally. That's why I say, man, the Nunes all day long, pound for pound, number one. Nobody has been doing it like her. Bungalow said, got to give Lauren credit. She made it into the fourth, and that's two more than I expected. I expected a 5 round decision. So for me, I can't Bungalow. I can't. I actually got to take away because I thought Lauren was going to go in there and grind it out, at least maybe a round or two, maybe get at least one round like Jennifer Maya. I thought she was going to go the decision. So that's just me. Like I actually had to take credit away. Cole said Manon could be an interesting fight for Valentina if she builds herself up. Yeah, yeah, she will. I think she will. As long as she's on her game, she won't look like she has to do what she has to not do what Holly Holm did though. Don't get too caught up in the striking from a distance and make sure her strength is on point. Pavel takes the girls into the forest and they practice kicking bark off trees. All the other fighters are in the mats in the gym. Big difference. Yeah, yeah. That's that that Muay Thai way of kicking them bamboo trees down and building that level of not just durability, but building that mental strength of sustaining pain and focus. Mark Robinson said, I think the answer is someone who can out wrestle and overpower Valentina in the clinch, who can also strike well. That Valentina can also worry about the take. Can't only worry about the takedown. Oh, yeah. 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 I don't think we do. I mean, we can pull up some names right now. I mean, like I said, I can't really entertain anybody in the top 10 because she's already beat 6 of them. And as far as unranked fighters, I mean, there's a nice little number of fighters that maybe could develop something if she's still around. Yeah. Hold on one second. All right, cool. We got about 16 people in here, so make sure you hit the like button. Like I said, we're just coming in here talking about this sport we call WMMA. Right? Okay. I'm still here. Hold on. Okay. I'll just text as my. All right. So let's see here. PB said, how effective do you think Juliana Velasquez style would be against Valentina? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if it would be too effective. Um, it could be, and it couldn't be. Like Juliana Velasquez, her downfall is her work rate. She's a little overcautious, but to me, Valentina has a better balance of counterpunching and being offensive. Like Valentina will take a chance and she will set the tone. Where I think Juliana Velasquez, she kind of lets her she lets her opponents lead too much sometime, and then they get a lead on her. She will get touched, and her range is good and her striking is good, but her chin is wide open too. She's strong, but when I saw Lima Lay McFarland take her down, I kind of had to take away as far as making her like a big physical specimen. Like, um, it wouldn't. Hmm, yeah, I mean, it depends on how she evolves, but right now, I think Juliana Velasquez still has a lot of growth because I think Taylor Santos could probably beat Juliana Velasquez. Honestly, I think she could. I think Jennifer Maia would give Velasquez a tough fight, but I think Valentina's too. I think Valentina's just better than Velasquez, though. I think she is. I think Velasquez, like I said, sits back too much, lets rounds slip, and Valentina still knows how to pick you apart and get a lead to take a round. But yeah, TJ said give Manon 18 months if she loses his UD. He says about as best he can give her right now. I mean, yeah, I mean that's an honest assessment. That's an honest assessment. Like yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you on that. Because I mean, what we seen last Saturday, and just how she's stacking bodies and never losing a round, it's hard to say somebody's just going to jump in there and beat her. Like, will they have moments? Will they win a round? Give her a tough fight? Possibly. But nobody's really making me say that's the one that's going to beat her yet. So, I mean, if she fights her in 18 months, yeah, that wouldn't be a good uh, time period. That wouldn't be a good time period. And yeah, TJ, that's what I said earlier. I think this next crop of flyweights on the come up, we do need them to have at least 2 years before they get in the top 10. They need to develop like the Jasmine Jasvidius, Casey O'Neill, who's fighting this Saturday. I think she needs a few more years before she's even top 10. Who else? Melissa Gatto looks good. Melissa Gatto was actually one that I think looks very good. We just need to see what she looks like against another unranked fighter. Um, Gordon Morris said Taylor Santos and Dominic Roxy would seem to be a good match for Val, but how did she lose that decision? I didn't see that. It was a close fight. It looked off, man. Like she really looked off because Barella actually out grappled Taylor Santos in that fight. Like she really didn't look like she was into it. Santos won maybe one round, maybe two. I think Santos did well in the round three with her striking, actually. Santos actually did better with her striking than Barella. Barella was actually the grappler in that fight. So I thought something was off. Some looked like he was off with it that night. Yeah, it was close though. Like Barella definitely won the first round. The second round could have went either way. Then Taylor came back in round three with her striking and won the round to me. Could have had the second, but it just seemed like an off night, man. And you can't have off nights, especially if you're gonna fight Valentina. Every night got to be good, or you got to have at least something that'll get you through that off night that'll help you win. Let me see. Muhammad, what's up? Muhammad said, I've been paying more attention of what you said, how the great fighters are defensive fighters like Floyd, Khabib, Valentina, they never really get hurt in fights. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm glad you are, man. I appreciate that you are, because Floyd, look at Bernard Hopkins in his prime, Andre Ward, another boxer. These guys, they care about not getting hit first and giving out the punishment. Pay attention to those fighters, man, because defense and strength, not just defense, but physical strength too. Like, these fighters are strong. Like, if you look at prime Muhammad Ali, prime Andre Ward, prime Floyd Mayweather, prime Bernard Hopkins. They're defensive, but they're also very, very strong. Like, not the hardest punchers, they're just physically strong, and they're very, very defensive minded. They care about how physically strong they are so they can't get pushed around in the ring. You have to have strength, because if you don't, your defense won't really matter. You can get knocked around the ring. One shot will knock you around. I mean, you get picked up, taken down, just bullied. Like, power is good, but strength is very important. Like, strength and defense. Like, that's two things I would, press to any fighter all day long. All the champions, all the greats in any combat sport have strength and defense. Like, those great ones have strength and defense. Yeah, core strength is huge. Yeah, core strength and very important, strength and condition. There's a fighter now, boxer. If you pay attention to boxing now, Muhammad Errol Spence, he has a great strength and conditioning coach. His name is Blu-ray Fitness, and he puts his fighters on a strength and conditioning regimen to the point that they don't just sustain strength, they get stronger in the later rounds. And that's kind of what Valentina is on. Like, she's not, not associated with them, but her strength and conditioning is to the point where she gets stronger in every round instead of going flat or staying or decreasing. You get stronger. Now, he puts you on that 700 push-ups in so many minutes. Then it's another 700. You know what I mean? Like, pull-ups is to the point where you get stronger in every round. And I think that's what was Floyd doing? Floyd was doing like 2,000 sit-ups. 2,000 of them sit-ups. Sit up where you stand up. He's doing 2,000 of those, and 1,000 of I can't remember 1,000 like these other type of push-ups. Mike Tyson was doing like 2,000 sit-ups back in his heyday. So it's that's something I trained for. Like, I ain't gonna be training a fighter just to knock people out and have the power in their hands. Like, power is one thing, but strength, that'll carry you through a fight. And that's what Valentina has. Why do you think whenever Andrade went to pick Valentina up, she got frustrated? Like, remember that part in the was it second round? They remember the part where Andrade in the second round, she like went to pick up Valentina like 3 times, like at the same time. She kept like pulling, but she couldn't move her. That's that strength I'm talking about. That's that strength I'm talking about right there, man. Like, Valentina was pinned against the cage, had the legs kind of spread, and that's usually whenever Andrade gets that position where she picks you up, right, for the slam. Well, Valentina, thank that strength and conditioning, she was not budging. She was not going to budge. Like, you could see her doing the clean jerk, like she was trying to pick the deadlift up, and like her back was not moving. I was like, I was like, Andrade can't get the slam, it's over. Muhammad said they tend to lower their opponents to make mistakes. Yeah, always, always. They fight their fight all day long. Mojo said maybe Rose Zhang moves up to challenge the Bullet. I'm sorry, man. Like, Rose can't do it. Zhang Weili can't do it either. Not right now. Like, we can't. We just can't do that. I know Dan Hardy says Zhang Weili. Nah, man. Like, you will get that girl hurt. Gordon Moore says it's been 2 years since Taylor lost to Barella, and perhaps that she improved her grappling and she was able to control Roxy. Yeah, I think she's just off that night too. Um, yeah, Bungalow. There's a lot of Every time you see Valentina, I'd be like, did she fight yet? Yeah, core strength. Yep. Robert Harrison, my honest opinion is that Santos was perhaps a little nervous that night, combined with Barella's strategy to be that too. That too. Yeah, because that was her first fight. And it might have been like Mandy Boehm situation, but Mandy Boehm, hers was worse. Like Mandy Boehm, boy, she was ice that night. She was cold. Taylor might have been a little cold too, but she started to pick it up in the third round. In an interview, Santos stated that when she fought Moroz, she wasn't focused. Yeah, I could tell. Howard said she didn't even know what to do after that attempt. Right. I believe she was, and I rewatched that fight. At least she's been on the money after that. Mark Roberts said people keep pointing to Manon, but I don't think striking is the way to beat Valentina. I think well-roundedness is like you have to be able to switch it up. TJ said at least Weili is willing to move up. Rose has to be forced to stay active at 115. Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, it's Weili. Yeah, I know Weili would go to 125, but I know that. Well, at least we know Rose. It's more the fans wanting Rose to fight Valentina. Rose knows she can't fight Valentina. And that makes everybody mad. But I mean, hey, let's just be real. Like, she can't beat Valentina. I'm trying to look out for her. I'm trying to look out for Rose here in this situation. I don't want to see a fight where she gets broken half. And it wouldn't really like be physically her getting like manhandled broken like that. It just means she wouldn't last around. James Hanley said, "Yeah, Rose and Val, they're good friends too. So I don't really see anything there like them even trying to make that fight." Robin Henry said he's a certified Rose fan. As far as a possible match with Valentina, he approves his message. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Yeah, well-rounded is essential, man. Muhammad said Weili needs to learn how to lose. She breaks down. The great fighters get better after a loss. Yeah, fighters like you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. I think when you hide it, you don't grow because you're making an excuse for it. Be like, oh, it was this, oh, it was that. Like, no, you lost because you just didn't have it. You didn't have the defense. It's a part of the game, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think the flyweights might not make too much of a change, but I know strawweight you probably see Manalemos in there pretty soon. Mojo said even both fights with Amanda, she didn't take much damage. Yeah, that's saying something because Amanda's a a hard hitter, but that shows you how much they respected each other. Like they knew they both were on crazy levels, so it was like we're looking for we're looking for uh, a moment that we can take advantage of. Like Whaley, not Whaley, but Nunez and Shevchenko were looking for little moments that they could expose, but without catching a bomb. That's what makes the fight boring. But yeah, I don't really want to see a third fight. Muhammad said it's all mental. Yeah, it's all mental, man. Like Whaley, you get knocked out first round, make a few excuses. I'd rather you just say the truth, keep it moving, go back to work, and go from there. 2B said Dern with improved stand up versus Val. Hmm. Um. I don't think that's gonna work. I think she would need improved wrestling first because she's strong, but I think she would need improved wrestling first. Like Dern's wrestling probably would get her on the inside, but her striking, like, how much more improved we talking? Like, I don't, nah, I still don't see her striking being a problem. I mean, she probably would take more of a chance than these other fighters, but I think that Dern's wrestling would have to be a key because now when they get to the ground, I don't know. Like Dern's jiu-jitsu versus Val. I mean, Dern is the legend when it comes to jiu-jitsu, just straight jiu-jitsu. So, but when you're talking MMA fighting, I think it's going to take a little more than just improved stand-up. I got to see wrestling too. Yeah, I don't think they go back that deep, man. For Val, if Valentina says she don't want to fight her, I mean, we can't say it's a coward aspect, but I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. But maybe Rose just wants to save us from seeing a mismatch. I don't want to see a mismatch. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Brian Williams, what's up? He said, hold on, let me see. Marcus said, if we don't get the Val fight, the Val versus Nunez, brace yourself for Andrea Lee versus Roxanne Modafari Part 3. I don't want to see either one of those. Brian said, Dern throws wild power punches that Val would see a mile away. Yeah. Dern's 115, James. Yeah, I think he meant like what would happen if she moved up to 125. Yeah, but let's go back here. Who? Okay, because we're looking at the list right now. Like we know who's not going to stop the bullet in this first tier. So Andrade, she's already fell victim to the bullet. Caitlin Chikagan, Lauren Murphy, Jennifer Maya. Calvillo's lost Andrade. She couldn't even get to that level. JoJo is fighting Grasso. She's fought close fights with Lauren Murphy and lost to Jennifer Maya. So those sound like first six already sound like fighters that don't have a chance or didn't have a chance. All right. So let's let's continue down the list here. Um, Number 7, Viviana Arujo. I think the one thing that's stopping her is two things that are stopping her is her defense and her cardio. Yeah, okay. I think that Viviana Arujo, her defense it's still an issue. She's quick. She's got quick hands, but she still gets touched. She still gets touched. Even by Montana De La Rosa, Roxanne touched her. Um, and yeah, like I said, the cardio. Vivian Arujo doesn't have the cardio, so if you don't have the cardio to go 3 rounds, then you definitely not gonna last 5 with Valentina. I thought that her grappling was a little bit better, but there was some times where she was a little lost in which fight was it? Not the Roxy fight. She did well on her feet in that fight, but I thought she would have used her jiu-jitsu in the Caitlin Chikagian fight. But she let and that fight too. She let Caitlin Chikagian outwork her. She was the harder and faster striker, but she let Caitlin outwork her. So Vivian Arujo, that's another name that we really can't say is ready for the bullet. Jessica I, okay, come on, we know that's not. Taylor Santos is now number 9, just so y'all know. Roxanne has exited the building. Roxanne is no longer in the top 10. This is the new rankings I'm looking at. All right. This is new rankings out. So Taylor Santos is now number 9. Then we got Grasso. Grasso, I think her kill switch is a big problem. She's strong, has very, very good boxing, but I don't see her being an issue for the bullet yet. Going back to Taylor, I think Taylor has the strength and the style that could give her problems. It's a matter of getting on the inside first, though. It's a matter of her getting a timing down on Valentina. She has an inch height on Valentina, a good clinch control, but again, that's against the other flyweights. I don't know if that's going to work against the Valentina level. Her strength is just beyond. It's beyond the, because we already said Andrade, her level of strength is like freakish. It's freakish, but when we look at Valentina, it's like otherworldly, for real. Okay, let's see. Muhammad said, "I don't want to see a third fight either." Yeah, that's done. Yeah, Valentina has a better overall game, but it's physically smaller. Yeah, if you put that smaller fighter with good technique, the bigger fighter will be. Yeah, the bigger fighter, I think, will win. They'll beat the smaller fighter with. That's a good point. I've always said that too. Like this was a boxing saying. When the big, the good big fighter always beats the small good fighter. That's an old boxing saying. The good bigger man always beats the good little man. Yeah, that's an old saying in boxing, man. So I think, yeah, as long as Nunes is still the good big woman, she's still going to beat the good little woman, and maybe another close fight. That's about it. Brian Williams says her wrestling is mediocre. I know her jiu-jitsu was great, but against the higher level competition, hasn't really stood out. Yeah, yeah, it just hasn't stood out. Oh yeah, make sure you hit the thumbs up button too when y'all come in here. I always just remind people. Got like 20 people in here, so it's always good. Brian Williams said Vivian is the best 2 round fighter in the division. Yeah, yeah, she is, man. She got a very good jab and good striking, but man, when it comes down to that cardio, uh, oh, two beats. You gonna call BJ? BJ gonna pop up in here? He says it's always De La Rosa. I mean, BJ got the game plan for De La Rosa. I mean, shoot, she need to be popping up here doing interviews with him wherever he reach out. I mean, because as she trying to come up, she's trying to build herself up to be the next thing in the division. So Joseph said, "Why do people say she's unstoppable? She ran from bantamweight. Amanda beat her 2 times. She has a nerve to ask for a rematch. When does a champion have give rematch contender she beat 2 times?" I agree with that second point though. Like, yeah, Amanda doesn't have to. Like, Amanda doesn't at all. No. But I don't think it's that she ran from bantamweight. Like, she walks around at 135, so she's a small girl. And she admitted that, a lot of the bantamweights are coming down from like 160, what she said, 150, 160. There's just going to be a lot of naturally bigger women there, so I don't think she really ran. She just needed to go somewhere where her weight was comfortable. And if that's the case, then they really don't need to fight again. Because if if Shevchenko is saying that, which is a good point you brought up, if Shevchenko says that, the fact that I'm 135 and I'm a flyweight and the girls are bigger at 135, that means you really don't need to do a third fight with Nunes. You're just saying, yeah, you're not a bantamweight. You know, Nunes is the bantamweight champion. Shevchenko is a flyweight champion. I mean, I just rather have it stay at that, because if she couldn't beat Nunes after 2 times and it was maybe because of the size, then just write that off. We don't need to see that. Ain't nothing there no more. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, she doesn't have to grant Shevchenko a fight anymore, because she did say that in that last interview. Like, I left that division because I'm closer to. I walk around at 135. All the other girls are huge, basically. Coming down from 155, 145. Um, Marcus, I saw that. Hold on, dang. Let me slow down here. Let's read these comments a little bit. Mojo said, if Tatiana can get healthy and stay away long enough to get a couple fights under, she's talked about moving up to flyweight. Yeah, her fight was supposed to be at flyweight. I would I would like to see her get in shape, man, and get healthy. James Hanson, I think Val would have win this version. I think Val would win. This version would beat Nunes. I don't know. Joseph said, did Chris or Valentina ever give rematches to other fighters? No. Well, I guess AJ wasn't the best. AJ wasn't the better big man the other night. No, that just proves you. No, like, that just proves that he wasn't. Like, he was just a big, basic boxer. Like, I like AJ, but AJ's not like a Lennox Lewis. I'm being real. Like, AJ, I never said that. Like, yeah, that's true. Like, he just, what his skill set. His skill set wasn't on what Usyk was bringing. He said winners don't ask for rematches. He said losers do. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. Like, when the winner passes, on, he's on. He should be on other things. Brian Williams said, I heard Misha said she thinks Maverick is the fighter that will eventually have the best chance to beat Valentina. Oh, really? Where'd you see that at, Brian? Send me that article. I want to hear or interview. I want to read that, or video. Send me the link to it. Yeah, send me that link if you can find it, Brian. Mark Robinson said the tricky thing is that even if someone is a bad style matchup for Valentina, they have to beat at least one or two very good fighters to get her, which might not happen. Right. That was another point I want to talk about, Mark. Hang on. TJ. Oh boy, TJ. So you're applying Valentina. Let's see. If you say names Montana, Julie. Okay, where am I? Yeah, I think, yeah, they just have to age Valentina out. Yeah. Bungalow said the Weasel broke down Val Nunes punch by punch. Sure does look like Valentina won. Val has nothing to prove. She already beat Nunes once. Okay. Yeah, I still haven't watched that breakdown. I mean, I'm gonna watch the fight for myself. I've been meaning to do the round by round with y'all, but I just ain't had time to do that fight. Brian says she has a radio show on Monday. She just made that statement this Monday on Serious Fight, man. Oh, okay. All right. See if I can find it. So going back to Valentina and what I was saying as far as like the beating her, like Mark was saying, that's a good point. Like I think to even have a chance, you can't continue to fight close fights. Like there was that MMA math we were doing, right? Like Lauren Murphy winning close fight after close fight after close fight basically was going to say that even though she's on a 5 fight win streak, you're still going to lose to Valentina because Valentina is dominating different styles. So if you're going to fight Valentina, you have to dominate these common opponents. Like you have to look almost otherworldly like her. You have to look the part. You just can't go in there like, okay, let's take Taylor Santos. You can't go in there as Taylor Santos, fight a draw or split decision against Jennifer Maya, barely beat Caitlin Chikagan, then almost lose to Jessica Andrade. You can't do that. You got to beat them in dominant fashion. You got to finish them, outclass them, however you got to do it. You got to beat them. You got to have that dominance factor. That's what I'm saying. Like anybody coming up, they have to have that factor. Like before they even think of even intimidating the champion. That's a big part of it. You got to dominate that fighter. You got to dominate the same common names. You know how Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao made their fight interesting. You know, Manny Pacquiao was matter of fact, Manny Pacquiao just retired. Manny Pacquiao, he was beating a lot of the same guys Floyd fought. So eventually, people wanted to see them two fight. Like years ago. So, like, let's say case in point, Taylor Santos and Manon. Like, they have to start climbing the ladder, just stacking bodies the same way Valentina did. You can't just skate by fights. You have to continue to do a dominant run, stack bodies, stack similar names. Beat them in better fashion than Valentina did. Gordon said, "Who is this Josie?" I knew it as that KO Malecki. Uh, I think she's supposed to be a flyweight, but she had fought it. She was supposed to fight at flyweight a couple of times, but she had to step in and fight Bea Malecki at 135. She has some knockout power, but I think they could kind of go both ways. I think Josiane Nunes KO Bea Malecki because Bea Malecki was just out of it, but she had the power as well. Like I don't see Josiane Nunes doing that to a lot of girls, but that was Bea Malecki. Bea Malecki, maybe it was the weight, but it was also the defense. But that wasn't really a scale to make me say Josiane Nunes is like, this next big thing. You know what I mean? So, so she might be moving down to the flyweight division. Might be the way she needs to be. Like I was saying, that's a big, serious fight nation. Okay. Serious fight nation. Daniel Edwards, what's up? Daniel Edwards said, Jessica needs to loan that bulletproof jacket to the Val's next opponent. But Jessica I does. Shoot, hers didn't work, did it? It's defective, exactly. Joseph said, compare winners and losers. Nunez is KO and submit girls in her division easily. Valentina couldn't finish Holly. Nunez looks future breaking records while Valentina can't. Look forward. Yeah, Nunez, she's just showing you her size difference. Like she can KO those girls because that's her frame. She's a big bantamweight, and I think that's where it should stay. Like she's a bantamweight. Valentina is in her realm, which is flyweight, and she will continue to dominate like that because she's the strongest of the flyweights. But when she moves up, girls are going to be able to sustain the punches, like dealing with 5'6" girls naturally walking around at 175, 160, 140. She's not going to be knocking them girls out. Joseph said Nunez lives in Valentina. However, when she wakes up, she probably fight Kayla. She don't need Valentina. Valentina needs Nunez. To be said, I smell a Valentina hater. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, we gon' everybody have their opinions. I mean, everybody have their opinions on fights. I mean, I really don't want to see a third fight myself, but Valentina is a good fighter. I mean, she is second pound for pound. I mean, number one is Nunez, but yeah, Valentina is hard up there. Valentina might be 1.8 or 1.7. Yeah, like if you are a hater, I mean, hey, fine. I mean, as long as you keep it respectful. I mean, everybody got their opinion. I mean, I know what I know. Uh, if you're a Nunez fan, that's cool. I like both of them, so I just like the fight game. Uh, as long as y'all debate and keep it clean, no name calling, no name calling. You just be like, yo, explain your points, debate. I'm fine with that. That's what makes a fight game. I mean, for the fans. So, Gordon said Lauren didn't dominate JoJo or Aaron. Yeah, she got a title shot just for next in line for Slaughter. Yeah, basically because of her 5-fight winning streak. And if you're talking about me talking about dominating, no, I'm talking about if you don't want to beat her. Like I'm talking about the fighters that want to come up and beat her. Uh, you might have missed my point if you're talking about what I was saying. Lauren, yeah, damn sure didn't dominate. She just got hers because the 5-fight winning streak, which she earned it. She earned it. But my point is, like any of these other fighters that are coming up, you have to dominate. Like I can't deny Lauren Murphy not a title shot, like because she didn't dominate. But I'm just saying, like if you want to win, it's one thing you get a title shot, but if you actually come in to win, two different things. Like Lauren, she just earned the title shot, and that's where it stopped. She didn't win. You know what I mean? She wasn't trying to win. But if you see a fighter coming in dominating, like taking everybody's head off, beating everybody Valentina did, that's kind of telling you that that's a fighter that wants to win. See, Lauren didn't really show the signs of that even on the 5-fight winning streak. Every fight was so close. Like she was never like perfecting the little things, like her defense, stop going back and forth with JoJo, make it one sided. She wasn't doing any of that. But on, technically, she just earned it. She just earned the title shot. Yeah, to be said. Okay, yeah. To be said. Yeah, it's okay not to like someone in that style that they don't appeal to, but when you don't back your comments with valid points, it's just hate. Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I haven't been reading everything, but yeah. I always say that too. Yeah, like if you don't come with facts on, what you say about a fighter, yeah, it'll just come off as hate. Like whenever when I say let's give an example. When I say that Rose is not a complete fighter and Valentina is, people get mad. They think I'm a hater of Rose, but I'm just giving you the facts off of what I've seen. It has nothing to do with a dislike for Rose. That's a good, that's the best example I can give. Like when I say Shevchenko is a complete fighter and Rose is not, people read that as hate, but it's not, because I'm just telling you the truth that she's not. I'm basing that off of facts. Now, if I was just to say, "Oh, Rose is, short, short haired, bald head girl that can't fight," I mean, you know what I mean? Like, or I was just saying like, "Oh, Wei Lee's better because Rose got lucky." That's just hate. Okay. Gordon said, "I think Val versus JoJo and Val versus Alex would be great bouts, but Andrea is the dark horse." Honestly, I think Gordon, you might like this comment, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Andrea Lee might stand a better chance. Andrea Lee might stand a better chance than both of them against Valentina. I don't know, man. I'm not. She might, just because Andrea Lee has a little bit more of a ground game, but it might all be the same. Like JoJo, Andrea Lee, Alexa Grasso, they might all get dominated in their own way. They might all get dominated in the same way, but I think Andrea Lee just has a better ground game than JoJo that might make it effective against Valentina. But you never know. JoJo's pressure might be effective, or Ty clinch might be effective. I don't know. I mean, I know, but I just want to. Valentina and JoJo fight. I'm gonna go for JoJo because I'm a fan of her. I'm watching her first. I've been watching her for years. I mean, I've seen Shevchenko on the Muay Thai circuit, but I like JoJo. I would like to see her win. Yeah, for sure. I used to want to see. Man, you know what fight? I'm gonna do a video about. What fight I used to want to see back in like 2015, like 6 years ago, like 6, 7 years ago. I wanted to see JoJo versus Joanna. Like that would have been the man. That's the fight I wanted to see at 115. JoJo versus Joanna would have been a good fight back in the day at 115. 2B said Amanda's much stronger than Valentina, thus she's going to be able to knock Holly out easier. Val has a lot less weight than Holly, and her strikes won't carry nearly as much as Amanda's. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, when Val's at 135, her shots just didn't match up. Her punching power wasn't there. Bigger girls can sustain more damage, sustain more pain of a smaller fighter. All right. Uh, Joseph said, "I'm not a hater, by the way. I like this channel, by the way." Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you, I'm sure, yeah, if you like the channel, you should be subscribed. I'm sure you are. Well, I like the fact that you like the channel. Thank you. Cedric C, what's up? He said, "I think Rose got lucky with Jean Whaley personally." I don't, man. I don't think she got lucky. Big mistake made, and she paid for it. How many black belts in various martial arts does Rose need to be considered well-rounded, complete fighter? There aren't many black belts. She doesn't have already. She wins by strikes and subs. Okay. All right. It's not about the black belts. It's really not about the black belts. It's about execution in the octagon, Gordon. Black belts aren't going to get you the championship. It's the fighter. It's the fighter, the adjustments you make, it's the execution you make. Um, it's about being able to show an ability to adapt to a certain situation. Rose doesn't always adapt to situations in the best way. A black belt can't just give you well rounded. That can't get you well rounded. Like, cause Valentina, like, I mean, it's been said before, I'm sure, like, everybody can have their style, but you just need to you also need to have a very solid understanding and backing and fundamentals and other disciplines. Like, you don't need black belts. Like, it's all about how you execute it in there. Like, Rose has not executed the ability to be consistent and handle style after style after style. Why do you think she's only had one title defense? That's the perfect example why she's not a complete fighter. I mean, yeah, she's beaten the champ, she's beaten the champion, she's beat this champion, but has she been able to just show her well-roundedness like Valentina? Nah, she hasn't, in my opinion. I don't think she's a complete fighter. Like, yeah, it's one thing to earn black belts. Because look, I'm gonna say this. Look, I talked to a guy, boxing trainer friend of mine, talking to guy who does jujitsu, and he's like, just because you earn a certain belt doesn't make you the greatest at it or makes you a complete fighter. Because he was like, yo, some people, they can trace your belt back to certain people and say it's not legit. Some people say if you got a purple belt or brown belt, who gave it to you? They'll say, who was the guy that gave it to you? Because they're going to trace it back to the credibility. So it's not just about getting a belt and saying, okay, just because I got a black belt in Taekwondo, black belt in BJJ, that I'm complete. Uh, the actual test of being a complete fighter is when you get in the octagon and show it on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Like, you go in there against a striker, you go against a grappler, you go against a wrestler, you go in there against a Muay Thai fighter, you go in there against a boxer, and you handle all 4 or 5 of them consistently and never lose. To me, that's a complete fighter. That's a complete fighter to me. But to me, Tisha Torres still beat Rose 2 times because she couldn't handle that type of style. Karolina Kowalkiewicz beat her because she couldn't withstand that brawling type of style long enough. I think she has a very, very good ground game, and she has very, very sharper striking than most of the strawweights. That's what's been keeping her alive. But as far as like being just all around complete, I just don't see it. That's why we don't see her dominating the strawweight division the way Valentina's dominating the flyweights. Yeah, so belts ain't just gonna make you complete to me. I have to see you put everything together because you ain't got to be the best at everything. You just have to have a good grasp of it. All right, hold on. I was up. No, I was talking for a second. Let me go back to the comment section. Okay, Daniel Evers said I checked the eye fight and the bulletproof jacket appeared to be questionable. JoJo fights Valentina. I'm 85% sure she retires after that. I mean, it's very well possible. B. Kendra said Rose looked like she didn't expect to knock Whaley out. She probably didn't. She probably didn't. I mean, she probably didn't know that shot was gonna take out her whole chin the way it did. Daniel stuff like JoJo mentioned Valentina. It's gonna happen. Uh, Kendra said was the last time Rose submitted someone. She took 5 rounds to submit Paige. That's a good point. She submitted some people. I'm not gonna lie, like, but she hasn't been able to submit to high level fighters. It's been more of her striking that's gotten to that level where I think that's what's really been getting her through fights because nobody's really been able to figure out her footwork. I think more fighters can handle her on the ground now, but when it comes down to her footwork and her striking, I think it's just levels above the rest. Andrade versus Andrade versus Calderwood. Man, that would be crazy. Cedric C said, then Zhang was way shorter. It was easy for Rose, but I hope Zhang presses her this time. Zhang never felt that type of power from the much better, longer fighter. Yet that and the fact that she's never really dealt with somebody that accurate, somebody that accurate that's hit that can hit so accurate. You know what I mean? Like she never dealt with that level of striker before. She Joanna didn't either. Daniel said if they don't if they do that, I'm calling the police on the UFC. If they have that fight, oh man, everybody got to get their shot, man. DC fan for life said, I think Manon is the best hope to beat Val, but you got to give her 1 year too. Yeah, I say give her about 2 years. Give her 2 years. You know, 31, 32. That's prime. That's prime years in the. That's prime years in the in mixed martial arts. I think that's prime years in mixed martial arts. So Manon, 33, 34, about the same age Valentina. That would be the game. That would be game. Val's been crushing so many cans. It's got people thinking she can beat Nunes. Dang, he said there. I said it. He said love Val, but come on, dang. He said Val's been crushing many cans. It's not that they're cans. Like I'm not gonna call these ladies cans because they make good fights. Like amongst each other, these flyweights are good. Like they are good. But Valentina is just Valentina. It's just like Nunes. Like everybody in her division makes for 50-50 fights, but Nunes is going to beat him. Slow down. Slow down. Where the heck am I at? Read a few comments here before we jump back into talking. All right, Gordon. So Gordon said my point was that Rose wins by strikes or submissions. That's a complete fighter, and I guarantee JoJo would do well against Val because it's a 5 round bout. I'm glad you said that. JoJo will do well. Thank you. I hope she does if she get that fight. But I think it depends on who you're fighting, though. Like to win by strikes and submissions. I mean, it's not really that you're a complete fighter. You should have those fundamentals and do that on the level you're on with certain fighters. But uh, if you can't do it consistently, I'm like, because I, I could see who are some other fighters. Like I could see Montana knock somebody out, or next minute submit somebody that make her complete. Not necessarily because the next part of being complete is having an IQ. The IQ and that focus. Yeah. I think Andrea Lee. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think Andrea Lee will be an interesting style matchup, though, man. Style matchup against Val, that would be interesting. But just because she's a little bit more youthful and she will move around, she doesn't seem too robotic and stiff. I hate people thinking Valentina beat Nunes the second time. Valentina tried to act pissed off, moving backwards and not doing nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the fight again, man. I mean, I still think Nunes just did it, and you have to beat the champion. Uh, like I said, I haven't seen what y'all were talking about, the Weasel videos. Like I actually never really watched any until somebody sent me a couple links, but I'm gonna watch it from my own perspective first because I mean I can't let anybody else influence that yet. So I gotta watch it for myself, like I said I was gonna do, just to see a couple times. First time I said it was close, draw. Nunes, no, first time I said Nunes just edged it out. She won. Second time I said Nunes won. Third time it was like, okay, I could see where you said Val maybe edged it, but to beat the champion, you got to beat the champion. To be the champion, you got to beat the champion. Yeah, I don't think so. Mark said, I don't know about that. I don't think I've ever seen her out wrestle somebody for that reason. I think she loses to Carla. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one aspect. Yeah. Submission and striking, knockout. You just can't judge it by submitting somebody and knocking them out. It's about how you get it. Like I said, like Montana could knock somebody out 1 minute, then submit somebody, but she's not complete. Yeah. Marks, it's a worthy matchup. Still gaps over the contenders has warped people's perspective. JoJo gets stopped by Valentina first and then Murphy. JoJo really needs to get, yeah. JoJo needs better defense. I ain't gonna lie. I've been saying that for years, man. Let's just get it over with, though. Brian Williams said about Rose, you can't compare her to Val. That's not fair. But compared to everyone else, she is a complete fighter. Just ask Paige Waterson, but she's only fought 3 people in her last 5. I think it's fair. I mean, when you start to get to the pound for pound levels, I mean, what are we doing here? Like who are we going to compare you to? Got to compare you there. Like we compare Nunez and Valentina. I mean, there was a if there was a featherweight champion, we would throw her in the mix and kind of match champions for champions. So that's the measure. That's the scale we're measuring you on now. Brian Williams says Weasel has unlimited time. Fast forward, rewind, and slow motion. Yeah, I really don't have that time. I mean, I'm having the time to do this now, but if I was to rewind and fast forward now, I don't have time to and actually keep looking at the fight. I mean, I'll be my own judge. I'm gonna watch it myself. I'm gonna watch it myself. So what else? Okay, so going back to what we were talking about. So yeah, after you exit the top 10, I mean, Roxanne, she's not gonna fight Valentina. Number 12, Andrea Lee. Andrea Lee's actually got a long road ahead of her, man, at number 12. And I'm just saying, like, if she somehow got to like number 2 or number 3, had to fight Valentina, it would look interesting. It would look interesting if she got that far. But when you look at the road ahead of Andrea Lee, like, can Andrea Lee get by some of these other girls? Like, can she dominate? Like, I can see Andrea Lee being able to beat Calvillo. Like, that's a fight I could see her winning. Um, Vivian Arujo, I could see her edging that out. Actually, because her cardio is a little better now. Um, I think when you get into the realms with like Jennifer Maya and Andrade for Andrea Lee, those would be tough. But at number 12, she's got a long way to go too, though. And I don't really just see Andrea Lee just straight up washing any of these girls that dominate. Then number 13, Macy Barber. She's already been high ranked before. You seen what happened. 14, Miranda Maverick. I think to me, Miranda's. I think she has the better overall mindset than some of the other fighters. I think Miranda Maverick has a bit of a. Uh, I think she has more of a goal in mind than some of the other fighters, where some of the others just are not seeing the big picture. I think Miranda has a mindset to know her weaknesses and try to perfect them. So at number 14, I know Miranda said, maybe in 2 years she'd fight for the championship, but at 22, 23 years old, there's really no rush for her either. You know what I mean? Like, because prime MMA to me for women and men, when you get your peak and you got a good understanding of everything, I think 33, 32 is good. So Miranda at 23 years old, even though she's in the UFC, there really is no rush. like Miranda could actually stay busy and just kind of work her way up slowly, just trying to learn how to dominate, be dominant, and fight all these other fighters and all these different styles. So that would be interesting. I I I think that would make sense if like fighters like Aaron Blanchfield and Miranda Maverick, them being like early 20s, they took their time and kind of fought, a much longer fight process and fought different styles first before they actually tried to fight Valentina. Because there's really no rush for them, in my opinion. I mean, unless you want to get out of the game earlier. If you have a set time for yourself, that's fine. But I think with the way Miranda thinks, she has a better chance than some of these other fighters. Uh, then number 15, you got Montana De La Rosa. I mean, Montana, I think she just needs. I think she has a very. I think Montana has a very big heart, and I think she's very tough. She is dangerous, but putting everything together, being well rounded, and being able to step up to the plate to those next level styles, I think she has a very hard time with that. The way she couldn't beat Andrea Lee and Vivian Rujo, I can't even see her dominating it at this point. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. Then your unranked fighters like your unranked fighters like Manon that we're talking about. I think with her mind state, she's in the best. I think she's kind of in the best position right now to get some solid wins and grow. Because I think even though she's not ranked, I think her maturity level, her experience level, is a little higher than some of the other ladies. I think her mind state is in a different way of thinking, and that's for the good. I think Manon has a picture in her mind of what she wants to do. That's why she's so dominant in her fights. Like Manon has a more of a killer instinct than some of these top 10 fighters. So that's going to help Manon in the end. Manon is going to fight her way up, and she's going to have that cold blooded. She has that cold bloodedness about her. I think that's going to help her in these fights. Brian Williams said they need to settle down. Yeah, yeah, like not saying like yeah, like oh man, like they when you rush, there's no need to rush. Yeah, like I think Miranda's in a good place where maybe 3 years would be good. Because Valentina is a big, big level change from even if you beat Andrade. If you beat Caitlin Kagan, good. If you beat Andrade, good. But when you get to Valentina, that's a different story, man. You're right. Daniel Edwards said, "Y'all hear about Clarissa Shields and Jake Paul rant?" No, not yet. Marcus Bell talking about Melody giggles. Melody giggles. Montana got to get that work in, man. She got to make some improvements to her game before she's, going to be talked about in my triple threat, BJ. Uh, let's see. Mark Robinson said, "You're right about Andrea Lee is number one contender right now. Joanna Blaze Andrade. She could do it again." I would still pick Joanna to beat Andrade. Yeah, I would still pick Joanna to beat Andrade. Rob Harry said, "I would say about 28 to 33 is a good time to be prime in MMA. You also have to consider injuries, of course. Look at Tatiana. Everybody can't become a young champion like Jones." Yeah, I think Tatiana's kind of like a special case for me. Like, I think as long as I'm just looking at the basic physical specimen. I think the fighter in their prime, that's a good time. But I think Tatiana's kind of a special case, but because come on, like she's yeah. So I know you said yeah, you have to consider those things, but like you rarely see it that many hit fighter in a matter of a 6 months, 7, 8 month span. Like Tatiana's had like 4 or 5 injuries, like alone in one year. But yeah, that is a good prime. Yeah, 28 to 33 is a good prime, man, because that's how you know how not to let too loose in a fight now. You know what I mean? Like not go crazy and you know just the amount of strength and pressure to let go, you know. Nah, I think Joanna still wins that fight. I mean, yeah, she's inactive, but I think Joanna still has something that Andrade has still doesn't have, and I don't know if she's ever gonna have. Like, tell me what is Andrade gonna do to beat Joanna? Like, basically, not speaking in the fan perspective, break it down for me. Uh, Me just speaking in a neutral position. I mean, yeah, Joanna has been out for 2 years, but I think that she has something that is always going to take her through a fight. Like I know what she has. Like I know what Joanna has. Like to get through these fights. Like she showed it in that fight with Andrade the first time. If it's at 115, I still got to favor Joanna in that fight. I mean, the one thing I know Andrade has trouble with that she might get by a few times is a jab, but nah, man, I still see Joanna winning that fight. Yeah, I mean that's way back. Valerie Lareda, that's Valerie Latorno. That's way back, and she was still on a more she was still on a roll then. So Robert Harry said, though I definitely think fighters like Megan needed to work a bit before moving to the UFC. A lot of fighters don't get there until over 30. Yeah, yeah, them special cases like Aaron Blanchfields, the Kay Hansons, the Miranda Mavericks, they're getting a good time to maybe not rush an opportunity, but to build themselves up. Like when you're 23 and 24 and you get in there and you're unranked, that's a good time to grow as a fighter, in my opinion. Mm, 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 mm. Because I'm thinking of the level that Joanna was on, years ago, plus the level that she's still on now. Andrade is improving now. Andrade is just making those basic improvements. Joanna, Joanna is already, she was already, what's the best word to put it? Joanna was already an elite fighter back then. Like she was already, she earned it, of course, but she was elite then. Like Andrade, she was elite, like amongst those other strawweights. She was the lower level elite, but um, she's just catching up. That's what I think. Andrade, still what, late 20s now, almost 30, 30 now. She 30, right? She just turned 30. Andrade is just catching up. I think Andrade is just catching up, which is not a bad thing. I mean, better late than never if you're gonna get them fundamentals right. But I think Andrade is just catching up at 30 years old, and Joanna still has what it takes to beat those basic things that she's just learning. So I still got to go with Joanna. And the fact that she is a 5 round fighter, I mean, that tells you how tough and how strong she is. Her takedown defense is it's like no other. Joanna's takedown defense is spectacular. Like you got to give her that. She didn't even really like land a clean shot on her in the first fight. All right, so let's see. Before I go, last couple fights we had. Let me see here. Oh wow. So I'm not doing any picks tonight because I'm coming back on tomorrow. So Macy Chase plots to silence classless Aspen Lad. Dang, boy, they are going at it. I didn't know it was like this. Macy Chase said Aspen Lad is classless. Why did she say that? Hold on, let's find out. All right. Chason said, "This is the fight I want. I want to fight this girl. I'm not ducking this girl. I'm ready to do this ish. I'm tired of hearing her flapping her lips. I'm ready to do it. If I didn't want to fight this girl, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have gone through all this ish. I've been in camp for 5, 6 weeks, 5, 6 months. They can say whatever they want. People can say whatever they want. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm cutting weight. I'll be there Saturday." She just has a lot of ish to say when she's done a lot of ish. Dang. This girl can't stop saying that. I know specifically she definitely pulled out of fights the day of. It happens. I don't respect her for that. If you're sick, injuries, cool. It's classless if you're going to talk ish about that, especially if you've been in those shoes. You understand? That's where it gets a little personal for me. Okay, so she's mad at her for being classless and pulling out on fights. Hey, I didn't even know they had beef like that. I mean, I thought it was all good. I thought it was like, yeah, we want to fight, so we're going to fight. If she's mad at the fact she's pulling out a fight. So interesting, interesting. All right, Brian. Brian, see you later. Yeah, I agree with that, Mark. Joanna was the first elite WMMA fighter, especially in the strawweight division in the UFC. She was one of the first elites. Yeah, she was. I've always said that. Chason said she was down the street fight. Yeah, yeah. I'm reading his name right now. I'm like, yo, Macy Chason ready to fight. Well, all I ask is you better show up and do it because I'm picking Macy to win this fight. I want to see a finish. Better go in there and do it for sure. So let's see. We got 4 women's fights on this card, right? I might actually have to talk about Antonina and Casey tomorrow. I don't have time now. I got some stuff to do. Robert said, "Question. No, it's not about a third fight. Where on earth can I find the first Valentina and Amanda fight? Is it on Fight Pass? It seems hidden everywhere else. I've never. It's on Fight Pass for sure. Um, have you tried the free fights on UFC's YouTube channel? Maybe it's there. Hold on. Look at that Shevchenko won. No, they never put the first fight. They never put the first fight on the YouTube channel either as a free fight. Huh. I gotta go back and watch them both. I'm gonna watch them both tonight if I have time. Yeah, go what is that MMA Core site? Yeah, Robert, go to MMA Core or go to UFC Fight Pass. That's all I could think of. MMA Core, something like that, or UFC Fight Pass. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think he needs an event. I think he needs to know where to find it. Yeah, he's trying to find a place to watch it, not the actually what event it was on. So, if you can find it on UFC Fight Pass, yeah, because I know it's up there, or MMA Core, type it in. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna jump back on and we'll talk about Antonina Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill, and we're gonna talk about Sarge versus Luana Carolina. I just got caught up in this conversation about this Shevchenko stuff, but let me see, y'all. Oh, Daniel Evers said Coach Pavel hid the fight allegedly. Really? Did he? I didn't know that. Yeah, Chase on though, and Lad. That's what I definitely want to see on this card coming up. There's like a total of 4 fights on this card, WMMA fights. Hopefully, we get them all. Ulysses says he has a link of the second fight. MMA Core has been stripped of almost all their fights. Like they used to be reliable. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I've been fine. I've been seeing some of this stuff recently, but I just really rely on my ESPN Plus and UFC Fight Pass now, just because I can't, I can't really afford to miss things. It's still hidden on the dark web out here. Dad, I can't believe that. Did he really hide that fight or have that fight hidden? I'm gonna have to do some research tonight, for real. But yeah, I'm about to roll out, y'all, and we're gonna get back on here. Yeah, no, I don't need that. Robert needs the first fight, not the second fight. He wants to see the first fight, not the second one. Yeah, that's my homework for tonight to see what I can find. Thanks though, Ulysses. I mean, appreciate that though. He had to fight the second link, but yeah, we were trying to find that first because I got the second one myself. But yeah, that that first one, I didn't know they were trying to hide it. The second fight, yeah. Oh man, like I don't know if I can bear it. Oh, if I find the first fight, yeah, if I find the first fight, we'll see what we'll see. Apparently, Volunteer broke her hand in the first Nunez fight. She said so recently in an interview. Broke it on a punch or like broke it. Mm. Yeah, I'm about to go, but I'm about to look into this thing, man, for sure. But yeah, let's roll. Let's close this thing down for tonight. Like always, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. Like I said, when you hit the thumbs up, I'll keep on doing these. But yeah, good conversation, y'all. Yeah, V Kendra, Joanna's still gonna beat Jessica Andrade. I'm sorry. V Kendra, I'm gonna leave it on that note. Joanna will still box circles around Andrade to another 5 round decision. Jessica Andrade cannot beat Joanna ever. Can she beat Rose a third fight? Possibly. Possibly she could. Very well so. That's why she wants to fight Rose the most because she knows that style is made for her. She said Rose is going to beat Whaley because she wants to fight Rose the third time. Not after getting stopped by Whaley that first time. In one round, I mean. Yeah, Ulysses. Amanda's big, man. Amanda's just too big for her. Yeah, she is. Andrade will beat Rose. Maybe Joanna will be difficult. Andrade Andrade very well could. Andrade, I'm not even gonna lie. But Rose could win too, But I like her chances against Rose more than Joanna. I think Joanna's just too tough, man. Like Joanna is too clean with the jab on her. But it might be more competitive, yeah. But I still like she might get on the inside maybe once. She has picked up Joanna, so she will probably pick Joanna up. But I still think Joanna's going to scramble and get right back to the range she wants. So. But we'll talk about that again tomorrow. I might actually have to kind of talk about a what if thing with that fight since you mentioned it. So yeah, we will get back on tomorrow, y'all. And yeah, so I'm out the door. Like always, Combo Breaker 99. Make sure y'all subscribe. I'm out. Peace.